The new British government has embarked on a radical plan for parent-run schools. But at the same time, the government's in the middle of cutting budgets by tens of billions of pounds as part of an austerity drive. Critics of the plan say the money being used on the new free schools should be spent repairing existing government schools. Europe correspondent Philip Williams reports.
Unhappy with your local schools? Well, why not start your own? Run by parents, funded by the government, and free from many of the rules and restrictions imposed by local authorities. Sounds too good to be true?
Hello, hi, I'm David.
Well, it's the promise made by David Cameron's government. He campaigned on the so-called free school issue, and the government is committed to it.
People, not just in local government, but particularly in the teaching profession, have been so enthusiastic about the opportunity to provide more great new schools with smaller class sizes, more personal attention, and the opportunity to innovate, particularly in the interests of the very poorest children.
But now the reality. How to satisfy the hopes and dreams of more than 700 groups looking to set up their own free school when the government needs to slash tens of billions in spending.
They found 50 million down the back of the sofa they've diverted it from the Harnessing Technology grant to fund the first wave of free schools, the ones that are going to open next year, and we hope our school will be in that first wave. But in the long term, they're going to have to make a decision. Either they stump up pretty large dollops of capital to fund the setup of free schools, or they allow commercial companies to be much more involved.
In Sweden, private companies are deeply involved in the education system. The British model excludes a profit motive, but some with experience in Sweden argue it shouldn't.
If you really want a great impact and many new schools and a lot of new ideas behind schools, I think it's really important to allow profit-making organizations, companies to invest in this area and to allow them to have a return on their investments.
But the return father of four, author and columnist Toby Young is looking for is a decent education for his children, where discipline and academic achievement are paramount.
I don't think the state is the best placed institution to be running public services, and particularly not education. And we've seen that over and over again. To a great extent, state education has failed in this country. In spite of the billions of pounds that have been poured into it, our position in the international league tables when it comes to reading, maths and science has been steadily declining. We need to do something, and I think it's time to give another group a chance.
That's the first stage.
Toby Young's group is one of hundreds hoping the government will fund their dreams, only now at the application stage.
We've just been waiting for this, so it's so exciting to be sitting here and actually looking at the forms and realising that we're going to be able to get to the next stage.
But already the government has been criticised for scrapping a school's rebuilding program aimed at repairing hundreds of dilapidated buildings.
We want a better future, we want education and we want our building. And we're going to get it.
The question raised here is if the government can't afford to maintain the schools it's got, how can it hope to fund new ones? And what effect will the free schools have on the existing system?
Individual schools in competition with each other leads to a corrosive relationship between schools, whereby schools are poaching off each other, knocking bits off each other, taking money off each other. I can't think of a worse way, actually, of raising standards.
Already established schools can convert to academies, effectively gaining autonomy from local government authority.
Today's second reading of the Academies Bill marks the first legislative step in the fulfilment of our manifesto commitment to improve England's education system.
It will mean funding diverted to the stronger schools to convert to academy status and to fund hundreds of new free market schools, with the role for the local authority in planning places and allocating capital or guaranteeing fairness or social cohesion entirely removed in this bill.
Whether the free school movement progresses may have more to do with the state of the economy rather than the state of Britain's education system. Philip Williams, Lateline.